And now it's time for a little special. And let's talk about related topic. I sometimes get questioned about what is the difference between depression and burnout. Would you like to learn about it?
Yes, please.
Yeah. So, yeah, because you were kind of defining burnout and there were like symptoms of depression coming in. And so there's a lot of overlap. And so there's a lot of confusion and a lot of debate about if depression is same as burnout, related to burnout, or result of burnout. And so there are two schools of thought. One school of thought, they did a study with a group of public school teachers in like 2013 2014 year. They picked 1400 of these teachers and divided them in the group of people who were showing the signs of burnout and who were not. And the group that was found to show the signs of burnout, they were about 86% of them also had the signs of depression. And then the people who did not have the burnout, less than 1% of them were considered the candidate for depression. So there's definitely this overlap. And so let me kind of just define briefly for our audience. Burnout is an occupational syndrome, as kind of the definition accepted by WHO recently, and that has three main criteria: exhaustion, which could be physical and mental; number two, either cynicism, negativism, or detachment from work; and third is loss of productivity, like as your balance, as your focus goes down, you're exhausted, your ability to perform and your concept of your ability to perform also goes down. Whereas depression is clinical diagnosis that has multiple symptoms, of which two main criteria is depressed mood and loss of interest. And depressed mood could be irritable mood, also depressed or irritable mood, and loss of interest in usually enjoyable activities. And there are other symptoms like effect on sleep, effect on appetite, effect on energy, concentration, focus, like feeling of hopelessness, helplessness, walking or talking slower than usual, and sometimes feeling like life is not worth living, or even suicidal thoughts. So if somebody has at least five of these symptoms present for more than 2 weeks and it's affecting their functioning, then the clinical diagnosis of depression is made. And so, like, because the burnout also has exhaustion is one of the main criteria, there's this overlap. So people who have compared burnout, exhaustion with depression, they see that there's so much similarity in it, and it's another form of the two names for a similar phenomena. Whereas when people study the real relationship with your job, that they realize that it's more than just the clinical depressive phase. It is breaking of the relationship with your job, the compassion for the job. And so in my viewpoint and many of the psychologists, it's not one or the other. It's like, how the temperature is. There's like, you can build the temperature. It's a continuum. You may have 99.8 or 98 or 9 or 100 or 101 or 104. So there are different degrees, right? So when your fever goes above certain point, then you make a certain diagnosis and take the steps to improve the fever. Similarly, as the stress is building, it can go into the burnout phase. Burnout can go into the depression phase, and depression could be caused by many different reasons, and burnout could be one major reason for developing depression. Treatment wise, you still go in and work on your mindset, you work on your body's health, recovering your adrenal glands and having your stress hormones stabilized. And if the clinical depression has developed, doing the medication, and cognitive behavior therapy has shown to improve both burnout and depression. So the only whether they are like twins, depression and burnout, or they are cousins, you want to attend to them. The difficulty, what happens is when people don't recognize that, when people recognize that they are depressed, they go to the doctor and get the treatment. But when people think that is burnout, they don't seek help, and they book a vacation. But what happens is when they come back from vacation, the situation remains the same. A lot of people even quit their job and then go to another job, and they have the same pattern again. different environment. But unless you work on how you are responding to the stressors, unless you set up those boundaries, know your self-worth, learn to calm down and change your mental perspective, you'll have same result in job after job after
Yep.
job. And so it is very important that you attend to it and address it in early phases, so it does, if it is initial symptoms of burnout, it doesn't become a full burnout or it doesn't convert into a severe depression. So, if you are having any of these symptoms, I invite you to consult with your healthcare professional, a mental health provider, reach out to me, learn other tools so that you can make the change in your life and live your full life and perform and contribute to society with all your skills. Let me end the session with this note. Today is the first day of the rest of your life. Each day is an opportunity to make a change, to make a new decision. So, what is one small thing that you choose today to either start or stop to prevent your stress from becoming burnout? On that note, stay safe, happy, and healthy. And thank you, Dr. Sapna. Until next time, Dr. Rosie.